In this video, I'm installing a really simple tap and water system in my camper van. Let's click and play and welcome to the video. There is no woodwork shenanigans going on today because we are heading straight to my camper van because a few videos ago, I fully rebuilt this front section, and whilst I was doing it, I had loads of ideas. One of those ideas was installing a very new, simple water system. Now, if you want to skip to me installing that very simple camper van water system, I shall insert the timestamp right here. But before I start work on it, I feel like I should explain my existing water system because this is quite simple as well. First of all, my water tanks aren't mounted underneath the camper van. They are just down there, under the sink. When I first did my van, I didn't have the money, knowledge, or skill to mount them underneath, so I decided putting tubs underneath the sink was the best way to go. When I need to top it up, I just pull the water one out. When I need to empty the waste, I just pull the waste one out. Dead simple. On my previous system, I had 25-litre tanks. They used to take up this entire space here. I never used to use them. I used to most I'd do half full and I still wouldn't use all that. So switching to the 10-litre tanks gives me loads more room, and if I ever run out of water, I've just got a spare one and I'm just going to switch it out. Simple. My tap actually works on a switch, which is part of my switch panel. And as you heard there, it's really noisy. You can't use the tap handle because the pump is rubbish. The pump is supposed to detect pressure and turn itself off, but it just doesn't work. So if I switch the pump on and lift the tap handle up, the pump's just going to carry on running, and at one point it even blew the fittings off. I'm sure there is a pump out there that does turn off when you lift this lever up, but it's probably more expensive. This, again, was a very cheap, simple method. The sink waste goes out the plug, down a bit of hosing, straight into this container here. I do need to improve that. And then my water pipe and pump and everything, you can see there at the back. This was a quick fix when I was redoing my van, so the water pipe is just stuck into the water tank. That needs to be sealed off. It then goes into the water pump that you can see there at the back, and then rounding up to the tap. Dead simple. So I'm going to take all this apart, but I'm taking it apart carefully, just in case my new idea doesn't work. Here we have the old system. 2 wires. And on the side there is my bodgy attachment because I couldn't figure out another way of doing it. We've got the braided tube coming from the pump. We've got the flexible tube with a Jubilee clip on the outside of that, connecting it with a Jubilee clip to a brass attachment, which screws onto a regular water pipe which attaches directly to the tap. But getting these connectors on, it's a pain in the arse. They don't really fit. So the pipe just sits on there, and then you screw the connector on to force it on. As you can see there, my pipe is really flared. I think I had to stick this in a kettle before I forced it on. Yeah, it was annoying. I don't like it. Here is the new kit. We've got submersible whale pump. Not an actual whale pump. This is a cheap knockoff from Amazon that cost me £10. An electric tap. It's cold water only, and it was about £22. And some hosing. Only £10, and I will put links in the description below for everything I've used. Get this hose, not this hose. This has got loads of little lines and crisscrosses in it. It's really stiff. Whereas this stuff is cheap, it's dead floppy. On my first system, I was using this stuff, and under the pressure, it just clamped down and then spilled water everywhere. The submersible pump. I don't know if this is going to work. It's a lot smaller than I was expecting. When you compare the two, this is twice the size of this. Is it going to work? That's what we're here to find out. The electric switch tap is way smaller than I thought it was going to be. When it arrived, I thought it was a kid's toy. The quality is terrible. This one is so much better. It's stainless steel. But I just want one where I can flip the handle and the water turns on. First thing I want to do is make the water canister quick release, like easy in and out, dead quick, simple, jobs are good. So we're going to cut a hole in the lid and then attach this hose lock quick connector and figure out a way of making the wire go through there as well. I need to cut the hole dead center, but there's a little molding nipple here that I'm going to have to kind of chop off so I can make sure the hole is dead center. We've got the wire in.
Yeah, it isn't pretty, but it works.
Because this doesn't fit over the connector here, I've actually got a bit of the flexible tube so that I can stick that in, it marries up, it's got a nice watertight connection, it's fine, it's worked well so far. Sorted. Okay, so let's just gonna trim it about there. Just do it again. So this on without looking. That slides on too easily, so that might need a P-clip. Through there, cable's in the right place. There we go, well pump, hose pipe connector there, go on there, and this will, oh no. That didn't go on as easy as I was expecting. Here's what's happening. I've made the pipe low enough so it goes right to the bottom there. Obviously as you try to twist it, it's doing that. So I think I'm just going to make a straight thing there so it can spin around easily. Goes in a lot easier now. The hose is kinked, so it's banging around a little bit, but it's still quite simple to get in and out. Now I've got to figure out how this works because there's 3 cables there. I'm pretty certain red's going to red, but what are the other 2 going to do? I attached the red cable to red cable and then tapped the other ones to see which ones made the motor move. Okay, that works. That doesn't work. The tap has the black wire going into it and then coming out into what's supposed to be the black wire. And then we also have the red wire connected to this. I will put that neatly up there somewhere and it all comes down to this thing. Gonna use these little connectors. They're waterproof connectors that I got from Amazon. They were £5 for 5 of them and they should just plug together dead easy like that. It's sunset on Friday, I'm stuck on the highway, it's been a while. Look at that beautiful tape job. I'm sure I could have done something better about that. Now I need to go put some water in this thing. There we go, easy to take off. Here's the moment of truth. Does it work? Is it quieter than the other one? And let's just do it. Oh wow, not sure if you can see, but something is definitely leaking around here. Ah, that's a lot of water, that's a lot of water. That's a lot of water. There's actually just about enough cable for me to put this up here and turn it on and see what leaks. Okay, now we have no water. Oh wait. Okay, we've got water, but we've got no leak. Interesting. Maybe it's just this. So this slides on pretty easily. Oh, there we go. So maybe I just need to put a P-clip on there. Jubilee clip, not P-clip. Let's put this baddie. Oh, I've just tightened it up and it needs to go back underneath. Hey, do we still have a leak? What's going up? Yeah, it's still leaking. Fuck. As long as there's a spark to keep me from the dark. It took a bit of trial and error. It looks horrible, but we finally have water. Here's where it was leaking. Underneath the tap there is a little blue bit that comes out with an angle. You can twist this blue bit round to adjust it to where your water pipe is going to go. So when I attached my pipe, which is quite stiff and doesn't like to bend, and twisted it all round to get in the water thing, it was putting leverage on that blue bit, and it was obviously pushing it by a fraction of a millimetre, allowing it to leak. So to make sure there's no pressure on it, I've made that little angled platform there, but I've also shortened the pipe underneath so it's got a straight run, and then there's no leverage on that blue connector, so it's nice and solid. This only happened because I was using an existing hole, and there's also a bit of framework going around there, so I can't really change the position. But if you're doing one of these water systems, just be careful where you put in your hole and how the hose feeds out, so there's no strain on the connection underneath. And here's a quick little tip if you're going to do something like this. I was being lazy and I left my switch connected to this system, so if I turn that off, nothing happens at all. But that accidentally solved a problem. When you turn the tap on, it preloads the system, so there's now water going all the way up to there. But that means when I go to disconnect my hose, loads of water falls out. So if I flick this switch and disconnect the power, then lift the handle up like I was turning the tap on, it actually opens the valve and allows the water to drain back into the tub, so that when I do disconnect it from the water, it doesn't leak everywhere. My new water system is very ugly. The tap is horrible compared to my old tap. I still need a better system for getting the water cans in and out. The wires all need tidying, probably redoing because they look horrible. And this janky little angle piece of wood here. Even with all that, this water system is way better. It's much quieter, it is actually easier to disconnect, and I love being able to just flick the switch, turn the water on. Because the pump is actually smaller power, it uses less water as well, which is brilliant when you're in a camper van. Even though we had a lot of problems and some big leaks, I would consider this one a success. When I do a new countertop, I probably will tidy this whole thing up, but it works, so yeah, winner winner chicken dinner. If you made it this far, thanks very much for watching. If this video was entertaining or helpful, it would be cool if you could subscribe. Apart from that, if you got any tips, questions or suggestions, stick them in the comments below. I do try to answer them all. And yeah, I've got a few projects that are almost finished, so I will see you in the next video.